Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Obina Chijindu and I will be teaching you about custom scripts in SharePoint and OneDrive. Alright, this is a continuation of the series I have uploaded. I would like you to go and watch it as it will teach you how to save a site, a document library or a list as a template and use it to create a different template on a different site. Someone may ask, Obina, what is the purpose of this? Now, the purpose of saving a site as a template is one, you like the structure or the look and feel of the themes, the headers, or even the metadata that you have already constructed in the site as a site owner. So you don't want the stress of doing that over again. So you thought of a way that you could save it and then use it to create another template for a different project. All right, so as much as possible, I'll be trying to use real scenarios that make sense, all right, that you can apply in your respective places of work. Now, what is custom script and why do we need to know about custom script? Now, custom script by default allows us to access certain administrative controls when we create a SharePoint site as users. There are two kinds of users. You have the administrative users, and then you have, when I mean administrative users, I'm referring to the global admin of a tenant or the SharePoint administrator who is responsible for the configuration, the performance, the storage, and the everyday running and operation of SharePoint resources and OneDrive for resources. Whether the resources are available on the cloud, which is SharePoint Online or Microsoft 365, or they are available on premises, which will be Active Directory, where you have installed a domain controller, you have created what we call a farm, and you're running a SharePoint Server 2019, for instance. Okay, so that is different. I will break that down for some of us who are very who are novice in this subject matter. All right, so just stay with me. All right, now what is custom script in SharePoint and OneDrive? I mentioned that it allows us to have access to certain administrative control. What are these kind of administrative controls? Now I'll break it down like this. When a global admin or a SharePoint, a global admin assigns licenses to users in an organization, what happens is that that user by default should be able to have access to SharePoint resources or OneDrive resources. That is, they should by default, when they log into office.com, access SharePoint and OneDrive. That's what I mean. Now, when they access SharePoint and OneDrive, they automatically have the ability to create a SharePoint site. They can create either a team site or a communication site. Don't worry, I will do a video on that for you. Now, when they create this site, okay, automatically they become the site owners and the site administrators of that particular site collection that they created. Now, even the global admin doesn't have access to it by design. It simply means that the global admin by design would have to request for permission to access the site. I will follow it. Now, if he's not granted access, yes, on the other hand, there is a backdoor where the admin can go and give himself access to the site, all right, for performance purposes, all right, if he's trying to do a maintenance work. Okay, now by process and compliance, global admins cannot just gain access into people's site. It's not best practice. Okay, good. Now, I've had some people asking me, Obina, but we need to have controls of certain things on our environment. Oh, yes, I agree. All right, and the purpose of having control is what we call following the compliance standard and processes that should have been set in place. All right, good. So this is not about that. We're talking about custom script. So I'm just talking about the background of this subject matter, custom script. So when the users create a site, I said that they become a what? A site owner. Perfect, exactly. Now, when they become a site owner, automatically they should have access to certain uh, administrative controls. Now, Microsoft has disabled some of those administrative controls. Now, for performance and maintenance purposes, the global admins or the SharePoint admins may need to enable these administrative controls. It's pretty good when it's not enabled, but there are certain things that you would need to do that would warrant you to enable those features. So that's where the bone of contention now comes in, where admins have to know what exactly is at stake, which I will come to, when enabling certain administrative controls for every user or just for selected few users. Does that make any sense? All right, yes, it does. So, what is it? Okay, now custom scripts are software configurations, as you can see, that help you perform administrative activities and additional on demand tasks. One of those on demand tasks would be saving a site as a template. Why would you want your users to save a site as template? Simple, so that they can have consistency across all the different project sites that they have. Okay? Somebody may be asking me who is watching, what is even a SharePoint site? So a SharePoint site is an internet document repositories that allows us to collaborate, all right, on demand, wherever we are, on any device, real time. Okay, so it allows for smooth collaboration anywhere you are in the world. As long as you have access to the internet, you can collaborate with your colleagues, with users who are not in the organization, depending on the case scenario. So we can perform administrative activities and additional on-demand tasks. Now, unlike pre-built scripts, which are more generic and standardized, custom scripts offer more flexibility for us to tailor the code to our specified needs. Okay, so when it's talking about this, it's referring to how SharePoint used to be in the past when it was basically on premises. Okay, so it's a piece of code basically that is specifically written to perform a particular task or fulfill a unique requirement. An example of a unique requirement could be, how can we save a site as a template? Or, we have taken so much time, our team has performed excellently well, and they came up with this beautiful document library, but we don't want to go through that stress again. Can we just save our document library as a template and use it on a different project? Fantastic, yes. That's where the flexibility of custom script comes in, which the admins will have to enable for their users. One, to perform this basic task. Again, there has to be a second eye towards the fact that um, the dangers of allowing so many things to just be opened or accessed, uncontrollably. Does that make any sense? Yes, it does. Okay. So, how do we allow or prevent a custom script? That is, how do we even enable it as admins, global admins, or SharePoint administrators? Now, I'm making references to these two administrators because it is only these two administrators that can perform anything called configuration that would affect users' access to SharePoint resources and OneDrive for Business. A Teams administrator cannot perform these tasks. A user admin, any kind of other admin roles that you're familiar with, would not be able to perform this task except it be a global admin or a SharePoint administrator. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. Okay. So how do we allow or prevent custom script? So first, as you can see, as a what? SharePoint administrator in Microsoft 365, you can allow custom script as a way of letting users change the look and feel and behavior of sites and pages to meet organization objectives or individual needs. All right. Uh, so in a company that I worked for, did a project with, um, basically they wanted a consistency across their branding. So they were like looking for a way to have that consistency. So I suggested to them that they can use what we call a hub, to perform one consistency, all right, and then they would have to also enable custom script at certain times, so that they can have that consistency across any site that is created. Instructions will have to be given to members or employees to always use the specified hub by the admins. All right. So it was a bit challenging, right? Because it was a very large organizations and we had to look for a way to work on that. So I suggested that, they perform first of all use the hubs and then they create what we call groups, security groups, where they're only going to allow use that group to control who can perform this certain task. All right. It worked. All right, it worked perfectly. So the look and feel being that when a user creates a site on their own environment, we need that site to mirror our branding. Okay, so if our brand color is, let's say, purple, all right, then every site that should be created should automatically inherit a purple color, all right, for consistency, all right, and then it should also inherit the logo. I'm just using that as an illustration. All right, so that is what happens when we enable custom script. It allows for what look and feel and behavior of sites and pages to meet organization objective. Whatever the objectives are varies with different organizations. You need to understand that, okay? Whatever they are, they vary with individual organizations, whether it's a small business, a medium business, or a large enterprise. It varies across different skills. Now, if you allow custom scripts, all users who have add and customize page permission to a site can add any script they want. Now, this is where caution would need to be applied by the admins here, because if some employees may be familiar with certain or curious about certain things, they could even affect their own environments by just, turning on certain things that are not necessarily relevant. Okay. Now, by default, users who create sites are site owners and therefore have this permission. Aha. So you see, now this is the first challenge. Even without enabling custom scripts, are you following? When users create a SharePoint site, they automatically have access to add and customize pages permission. So the custom script allows for them to customize their site, customize their pages, change the look and feel because they are the site owners by default. Okay. Also, by default, script is not allowed on most sites that admins create using the SharePoint Admin Center, as well as sites created using a commandlet, all right, with PowerShell. Now, same applies to OneDrive. Site users create themselves. All right, now modern team and communication sites and the root sites for your organization. Let me explain this. So it says here that By default, users have access to OneDrive. It can apply to OneDrive. It can apply to sites users create themselves. We have two types of templates that users can immediately create: the team site or the communication site templates. And then we have the root site of your organization, which automatically is created when you're when you when you purchase a Microsoft 365 subscription. So if you purchase a Microsoft 365 subscription, you're purchasing the tenancy as .on Microsoft. Then you proceed to add your custom domain, all right, to that tenancy, so that the tenancy does not point towards Microsoft. It now points to a legit, if you understand that, a legit company, right? A legit domain is the correct word. So when it points to a legit domain, now what happens to SharePoint and OneDrive is that it automatically takes the root of that tenancy. For example, if I purchase an enterprise subscription of an E3 license, what happens is that if I'm creating or purchasing the tenancy and I give the name of the tenancy Obina, automatically SharePoint would take the name Obina as the root site. So anytime anybody, that is my employees, visit their own profiles by logging to office.com, click on the app launcher and launch SharePoint, it's going to show obina.sharepoint.com, because the root is the name of the tenancy I purchased the subscription with. Does that make sense? Yes, understand that. So that's what is referred to as the root site for your organization. So every organization that is using Microsoft 365 has what we call a root site. Now, the global admins or the networking team or the IT team needs to play very good or very well with the root site. They could either use the root site as the landing page for all their employees. So if, for example, they have, say, new members joining their business, all right, and you know, because of how big the business is, they can use the root site for easy navigation, where people could check information about each department, about HR, about finance, about IT, or even raise support service desk tickets if they need any service from the IT to help them out with. So they can use the root site for those kind of purposes, and it's fantastic, right, to even use that by design. You understand that? Okay. Now, so for more details, you can visit this link here. All right, security considerations of allowing custom script, and you would see basically the the challenges, with doing that. Okay, I would touch that later. Now, a very important thing that I would like to draw your attention to is the setup of your organization before 2015. Custom script settings might still be set to not configured, even though in the SharePoint Admin Center they appear to be set to prevent users from running custom scripts. All right. In this case, users won't be able to copy items between SharePoint sites and between OneDrive and SharePoint. Let me explain. All right. So the beautiful thing about SharePoint and OneDrive is that we can copy and move things. All right, and that's because Microsoft 365 allows for easy collaboration amongst all the application that comes with it. For example, Microsoft Teams comes with it, my SharePoint comes with it, OneDrive for Business comes with it, Loop comes with it, Planner comes with it, Power BI comes with, yes, comes with it depending on the license. Whiteboard, OneNote, Word of Microsoft Word, the Office applications, and so on. All right, Outlook. Now, by default, there is a seamless collaboration or communication amongst all these applications once you have it active on your tenant. So that's what it's talking about, that with the custom scripts, users won't be able to copy items between SharePoint sites. So if you have experienced that with maybe your employees who have raised the concern to you, or depending on whether you're a support, you know, if you've experienced where your client cannot move sites, move items, from one site to another, it's most likely because of the custom script. All right. And same thing goes with the OneDrive. Okay. So we can know by following this documentation that says copying files and folders between OneDrive and SharePoint. All right. And that will be very, very helpful for us. All right. So to allow custom scripts on OneDrive or SharePoint created sites, let's see the step-by-step process. Step 1. Navigate to your settings in SharePoint Admin Center, and then you sign in with an admin permission for your what? For your organization. Step 2, at the bottom of the page, I'm going to demonstrate this to you. I'll show you where it is. At the bottom of the page, select settings page. Under custom script, select allow users to run custom script, and then step 4, click OK. So you can see the screenshot of it. So let me switch to my environment and show you. So let me switch to my environment. Let's see if I can switch to my environment. Can I switch to my environment? Check now to see if I can switch to my environment. Okay, I can't switch to my environment for some reason. I think it's because of the way I started this presentation. So sorry about that, guys. Okay. Okay. All right. So follow the step, all right, on your respective environments, and you should be able to see. You should be able to see what I'm speaking about. Okay. Just a second. Let me try one more time to see if I can. Oh, cannot. All right. Okay. So this is the basically this is the screenshot. All right, follow the steps 1 2 3. All right, I'm going to make this available on my channel, so you can always make references to to this presentation. All right, now, so something I would like to mention is that a site without custom script enabled using PowerShell cannot be saved as a template. All right, so that is to say, this is my SharePoint site. I created this SharePoint site as a test site, and in this site, this is the site settings, where if you watch my previous video, you would see how I was able to navigate to the site settings, and from the site settings, under site actions, you will see save a site as a template. Now, but when a user creates the site, a new site, automatically it is not enabled, and that's because the custom script is off on the tenant level and also turned off on the site level. Okay, so how do we enable the custom script on the site level as well as on the global level. I've shown you in the previous slide. I showed you how to navigate to custom script to enable it for the entire organization. All right, so that step is what would allow you to enable it for your entire organization. All right, now, but this particular one that I'll show you next would basically just show you how to enable it for the site. So these are the steps, and this is the PowerShell to enable custom script on a SharePoint site. Okay, so you have launch, follow the steps. So you launch your SharePoint management shell as administrator. You can just go online and search for it. All right, and then you run this execution policy together. Then you install the module. But if you're using the SharePoint management shell, you don't need to install the module, so you can skip this step, and then you go straight to connect SPO service. All right, and here where I put your domain, you would replace this your domain with the name of your own tenant. Okay, for example, if the name of your tenant is Contoso, you replace here, which I put your domain with Contoso. Okay, all right, then you run the script. All right, and this script says set SPO site. You can see deny add and customize pages. Remember, I told you that by default any person who creates a site automatically has the permission to add and customize pages. All right, does that make so? When we run the script, what it does is that it allows us to activate master pages in that particular site collection. Okay. Now, here we have a shortcut to quickly navigate back to uh, saving the site as a template. That is to say, if we have run the script and we're not seeing the feature or the option to save a site as a template in the site settings, we can use this approach to navigate by just editing the URL on our browser. We just modify the URL of the SharePoint site settings and press enter. This would automatically take us there. Okay. Next, fill the templates and press OK. Now, for you to understand these steps, you need to go and watch my previous videos, because I did a very good lab demonstration showing you all. So that's why I'm not doing so much demonstration here, because I've done the demonstration on the previous video. So please click on the link that appears on top. All right, you can watch it after and then come back to this video. Okay, thank you. Now next, so that basically is about enabling custom script on a site level and enabling custom script on the organization level. All right, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me. All right, and please do subscribe, all right, to my channel. Give me a thumbs up, click on the bell notification so that you'll see more videos when I upload them. Thank you and remain blessed.